Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 6 of Mindful Morning with me, Ashley Walkneen. Oh, episode number 7 of Mindful Morning. And we are talking today about the sixth sense. I believe that our ability to feel our emotions is one of the most important assets that we have. And I know it sounds kind of weird, like feeling your feelings, but I want you to go with me on this one for a second. Most of us don't actually know how to do this. We're normally just reacting to our feelings. If it feels good, we embrace it. If it feels bad, we repel it. But what if I told you that it was worth your effort to learn how to use this sixth sense so that it works for you instead of against you? Now, there are a number of reasons why you would want to do that, but I'm going to give you my top 2 favorites. The first reason is no matter where you grow up in the world, when you're a kid, you learn that if it's uncomfortable, it's bad, and if it's comfortable, it's good. But the minute that we label something as bad, we instantly want to get rid of it, change it, fix it, avoid it, right? So the second thing is that everything we do in life, everything we move toward or away from, is because of the way that it makes us feel. So if something feels uncomfortable and you label it as bad, you're going to want to move away from it. You're going to want to get rid of it. So, okay, but what if you want to leave your job or your partner, or you want to get into a new relationship or change a habit, achieve a goal, or, fix your health? None of this stuff is going to feel comfortable, right? None of this stuff is going to feel good. And you may want this for yourself with your whole mind, your whole being, your whole heart, but it's the way you feel about the feeling in the moment that is going to drive the way you ultimately act. So it's worth learning how to use our sixth sense so that it can support us instead of getting us stuck, right? We put walls up around our lives because we don't know how to do this. We block ourselves from pursuing the things we want because we turn these feelings into a problem. So I'm going to tell you the ways we normally deal with emotions that we don't like. We either fuse with it, meaning we get all caught up in it, we basically get taken over by it. If we're angry, we become it. If we're sad, we become it. If we're afraid, we become it. Or we avoid it, right? And there's so many ways nowadays that we can distract ourselves. And the thing about it is they work really well, don't they? I mean, they do give you that sense of temporary relief, but there's always a cost, right? You can't fix your health if you avoid the gym. You can't fix your marriage if you avoid your partner. You can't change a habit if it's always tomorrow. So it's a very tempting short-term payoff, but always at the expense of what you ultimately want. So avoidance and fusion, this is us reacting to our sixth sense when we don't like it. It's not us actually using our sixth sense. And if you think about it, like your sense of smell, for example, you don't cut your nose off when you come across something stinky, do you? I mean, that would be absolutely ridiculous. You just get over it, you deal with it, you move on because you know that this is an asset. This sense is an asset in your life. And so we need to have the same kind of approach to our sixth sense of feeling. We need to use the sixth sense so that it supports us, it supports our dreams, and it supports what we ultimately want to do with our lives. So how do we do that? How do we develop our sixth sense? We do it in the moment when the uncomfortable feeling shows up. And I focus on the uncomfortable ones because, again, that's the ones that we tend to want to avoid, we want to move away from. So I'm going to give you 5 steps that you can take when an uncomfortable feeling shows up. So step 1, I want you to stop. Literally stop. Don't react. Don't fuse with it and go attack your partner. Don't avoid it, roll over, hit the snooze, and go back to bed. Just stop. The second thing is to take a breath and to feel the feeling. what is this thing anyways? What is this feeling, the physical feeling? I don't mean the story that you create about it up in your head or your opinions, your judgments, but the physical feeling itself. So the third step is to name it and to describe it. And we do this because when we get caught up in it, or when we ascribe any kind of meaning on this physical feeling, that's when we automatically start to struggle. So we want to name it. This is a feeling of fear. And when this feeling of fear is here, how do I describe it? It's a fluttering in my stomach, it's a pounding in my chest, it's a tension in my arms, but it is just a physical feeling, right? Now the fourth step is to open up around it, to give it some space to move around this energy. This is an energy, it's a sensation, it's that's all that it actually is. So you want to open up and make some room for it so that you're not going to get into a struggle with it, to be willing to have it. So you make space for this thing to move around in you, and then you take the fifth step, the final step, and that is that you take action. But you take action and you take the feeling with you. Now, before you take action, I want you to make a decision. How do you want to be as you do this? Do you want to practice being dedicated? Do you want to practice being patient, loving? What would the best version of you do at this time? And then you actually take the action. Now, I'll tell you where some of my clients get tripped up in these 5 steps. They're not actually willing to have this physical feeling. So they start to do these 5 steps, and it's really a kind of, avoidance tactic to get rid of the feeling. The physical feeling itself, it may decide to get bigger, smaller, it may decide to hang around for a while, it may come and go in waves. The physical energy itself is not the part that you can control. The part that you control is your actions and your willingness to have it. So you need to ask yourself, am I willing to have this temporary feeling, even if it's uncomfortable, if it means that I get to pursue the things that I really want to in my life? Would that be worth it? And personally, I think it's worth it. I think that the short-term uncomfortability is worth the long-term, payoff of getting to live my life the way I really want to. So those are the 5 steps. If you'd like the downloadable of the 5 steps, then you can subscribe at the link here to Mindful Morning, and you'll be able to access those 5 steps as well as all the other bonus worksheets that go with all the other Mindful Morning episodes. I'll see you all tomorrow, and we'll talk about the 7th sense, which is thinking. Have a good day.